Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially arrived to the end of our journey, where over the last 2 months, I want to say, plus, I have been listening to, reviewing, and breaking down every major solo record by the one and only King of Pop, Michael Jackson. I started with Off the Wall. I made an entire episode breaking down that record, and it was my first time listening to Off the Wall in whole, which was an interesting experience. As a self-professed huge Jackson fan, it was incredible to me that I hadn't actually sat down and listened to that record front to back. I then made an entire episode about Thriller and broke down songs like Wanna Be Starting Something, which in my opinion still has Jackson's best intro track of any of his records, and any first track, starter track for any of his records. Wanna Be Starting Something to me is the best of the best. Then went and made an entire episode about Bad and how I think Bad is Michael's most consistent record, probably maybe one of his best, if not his best record. Made a follow-up video to that breaking down Dangerous and talked a little bit about how much I think the record is great, but there's some fat on that record that I would like to get removed to make it a more tighter, more production record. And then we broke down History, the black sheep of the Jackson discography, in my opinion. The one that kind of just sticks out a little bit because the songs are excellent, but they don't really have a sound per se that matches History. You know, Dangerous' songs all have a sound. Bad songs have a sound. Thrillers and Off the Walls songs all have a certain sound to them that belong together. History was such a mishmash that they kind of stuck out a little bit. I mean, Exhibit A is Come Together being on the record when like Y is Come Together on the record. But I love History. And then we get to this. Invincible is a record that I haven't heard in a very long time, probably since the record came out. I bought Invincible on CD, listened to it a little bit. I don't think I got to the end. And I was like, okay, this record's okay. And I never gave the record a shot again. I don't think I actually like went back and listened to it because I thought it was mediocre when I first heard it. And so when I was doing this series of reviewing all of Michael's albums, and this will be the final video that I make reviewing all of his records, which is a little bittersweet because I've been able to reach so many of you through our mutual love of Michael. It's been incredible. And I'm excited about talking about more bands and artists in the future. And maybe I'll revisit Michael and talk about Blood on the Dance Floor and some of his posthumous stuff as well. But for now, we're going to take a break, after this album when it comes, or after this episode when it comes to Michael. But I was a little scared to review Invincible because I was like, man, I don't want to go out on a whimper. I don't want to go out like bashing this record and just like talking about all the things I don't like about it and how I think it's kind of uneven and whatever I felt back in 2001 or whenever this album was released. So I sat back and I listened to Invincible. I pressed play on my little YouTube Music app. Yes, I use YouTube Music because I have YouTube Premium. Absolutely love it. And I've listened to Invincible in full, front to back, 3 times. And I think that this is probably Michael's best album. And I'm not saying that as hyperbole. I think that Invincible, front to back, is near perfect. It's such a well written, well arranged, excellently produced. I mean, heck, the album cost like $25 million to make, or some ridiculous number like that. It is so well produced. Every song's hook is catchy. Every song's verse is good. Every song's production element is on point. Every song's vocal performance by Michael is excellent. All of the stuff that I used to complain about in History, in Dangerous, and even parts of Bad, where I thought his vocals were really low in the mix during the verses, none of that is here in Invincible. Invincible has interludes. It has stuff where Michael's talking to, like, Chris Tucker, or he's talking to Carlos Santana, or he's just like doing little like interludes and stuff in between that just like fits the vibe of the overall record. And Invincible to me is incredible. It's an album that I think like for hindsight being 2020, I'm sure Michael didn't know that it was his last record when he made it. But if there's any record that you're going to go out on, Invincible is a hell of a record to go out on. It's one of those things where like I'm almost at a loss for words, because how did this album stay so dormant to my knowledge post Michael's unfortunate passing? Like I completely ignored this record forever. I was listening to Bad on a regular basis, and Thriller, and History, and parts of Dangerous. I completely ignored Invincible. And Invincible starts out with one of the best opening tracks in Michael's discography. Legit. I've been saying this on the prior Jackson reviews that I've done. So one of the things that he did so well in Thriller and in Bad specifically, that for some reason he abandoned in Dangerous and parts of History, was that in Thriller and in Bad, he would pick a bass line or a guitar line, something specific, okay? So for example, for Billie Jean, it was or like, Bad was or Smooth Criminal was like he'd have these melodies that were the hooks for the songs, that were the main hooks for the songs. Want to be starting something. All right? So like things that would repeat over and over again. Beat it. Like he had those things that were like a measure or two measures long. And then for some reason, I think it was because of the New Jack Swing style and Dangerous, it almost completely got abandoned, all right? Like Black or White had it. Like that was pretty much it as far as Dangerous goes. History didn't really have it. I can't think of a song right now off the top of my head that does have it. But nonetheless, Invincible brings it back, because the first song from Invincible is Unbreakable, and you hear bum da 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 bum da 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 bum da 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 bum da 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 bum da 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 da. The riff is so sick. It's hard. Like it's amazing that this record was made in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, because it sounds so current. And like it's a riff that first and foremost, Jackson does the impossible with this, because he makes a piano riff sound hard. Like it sounds like there's distorted guitars behind it. It sounds like there's like an orchestra behind it, whatever. But that riff is dope as hell. I love the verse, and I absolutely love the chorus. It's something that like I bob my head to as I'm unbreakable. Da, 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 da. Cause you can't, cause I'm unbreakable. Bum, bum, bum. Sick, super sick. And I love how the song builds and builds. Towards the end, the song builds and builds. It crescendos like crazy, and then it stops. It does this weird sound effect transition type sound type thing. Again, the production value and the sound design on the record Invincible is pristine. Okay, it's untouchable, if you will. All right. It's ridiculous. It's so good. It's incredible. So many adjectives that I can use. And so it goes back into the beat again at the end. It's awesome. And I would usually complain about a Jackson song that's like 6 minutes in length, 6 minutes and 26 seconds in length, but there's nothing that's extra on this track, all right? Which transitions into an amazing beat. Heartbreaker is so dope. The boom, absolutely dope. Michael's verses are incredible. He's like on fire on this record. He has so much passion that he's like giving to each one of these songs. I mean, we're only 2 songs in, and it's one of those things where like I found myself like almost getting neck pain from how much I was like bobbing my head aggressively to these songs. Like the chorus is incredible. Heartbreaker leads us into Invincible, the only song that if I were to nitpick, to me is like okay. Like I like it. I think the chorus is phenomenal. I think the verses are okay. It's annoying to me that Jackson picks these really like iconic album titles, and then the songs that are have the same namesake as the album title are just songs about girls, like Dangerous, right? Like again, so like an album like Bad, he's saying I'm bad. It's like okay, cool, that's awesome. And then from Bad you go to Dangerous. Could he have been like I'm dangerous? I don't know, maybe, but like instead of being like that girl was bad, that girl is dangerous. Okay, cool, sure. But then to go into Invincible, same idea, right? With the girl being invincible as opposed to Jackson being invincible. Now, my prior review, I said that History had the best 1, 2, 3 punch of any Jackson album, from Scream to They Don't Care About Us to Stranger in Moscow. Invincible is a strong second, because Unbreakable, Heartbreaker, and Invincible, and in my opinion, are also a very strong 1, 2, 3 punch. Again, Invincible brings it down just a smidge, because to me it's fine. Okay, like I don't love the song, I don't hate the song, I think it's fine. The chorus is really catchy, but to me it's still a strong start for this record, which then takes us into Break of Dawn. And for whatever reason, and I love Break of Dawn, like I absolutely love this. I love Jackson's vocal harmonies in the chorus. Okay, like it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the beat too, and the beat, tell me if you think this. Okay, the beat reminds me a little bit of that Sixth Underground song. Okay, for the sake of copyright, I'm gonna play the beginning of Break of Dawn on my phone, and you tell me, okay, whether or not you hear the same thing I do. Check this out. Take me down, Sixth Underground. Da, 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 da. Like that's what it sounds like to me, but like I absolutely adore this song. Break of Dawn is so gorgeous. It is such an amazing, rich, beautiful song that like it just the chorus is so awesome. Okay, I love the dun 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 dun, and then Michael responds, break of dawn, dun 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 dun. Like it's sick. It's so freaking awesome. And then interesting to go from 3, high energy songs to then 2 low energy songs, because Heaven Can Wait is the next one. Heaven Can Wait is absolutely beautiful, again with those vocal harmonies. I don't want to leave my baby alone. Like I don't know what Jackson was drinking during this Invincible songwriting sessions. Again, $25 million can buy you a lot, including some good like songwriters and producers and stuff. But like, holy crap, man. We're 5 songs in, and so far they're all really good. Heaven Can Wait is absolutely gorgeous. Okay? It's one of those songs that like I think is just amazing, right? Like it's just, I don't know how else to like describe it, you know? Like, and especially you're beautiful, beautiful, wonderful, wonderful, incredible, incredible. And then he sings it again, right? Going into the first verse. Like it's so well constructed too. The arrangement is absolutely beautiful on Heaven Can Wait. And then it takes us into like the first interlude of the album with Chris Tucker and Michael going back and forth. And it puts such a smile on my face, because I completely forgot about this like exchange between them. And like Chris Tucker being like, I bet you never land, you can never get that girl, or something like that, right? And the confidence in Michael's voice to be like, I can get that girl. Like, not in a cringy way, not in a corny way, like in a confident, like, bro, I got this, watch. And then you hear bun 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 dun dun bun dun 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 dun. Let's talk about songwriting, okay? Let's talk about simplicity in songwriting. Let's talk about the fact that the guitar is doing one note. Bun, 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 dun, 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 bun, bun, dun. That's it. The bass line is keeping things simple. Doom, 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 doom. right? All of that's happening. And then the strings, for anything to be a main instrument in the song, you'd think it'd be like a piano synth. You'd think it'd be a guitar. You'd think it'd be, something. But keyboard strings, ba-da-da-da-da-da-dun, ba-da-dun, ba-da-dun, da-da-dun, da-da-da-da-da-dun, ba-da-ba-da-dun, ba-da-dun, ba-da-da-dun, ba-da-da-da-da-dun. Like, this song has always been fascinating to me because the structure is a little weird. Michael starts singing the start of the chorus, da, 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 you rock my world, like it's the and beat into the front of the beat, right? So it goes, dun, my love for will never be the same for da 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 da, the way you walk, the way you talk, da 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 da. Da, 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 right? So like even the start of the verse for the song doesn't start on 1. It starts on like the 3 before. So it's like, my love will never be the same. Girl, you like all of that, right? And then the same da 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 da. You rock my world, you know you did. And everything da da da. The red, I don't know the words. Da 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 da. You to come mine. You rock my world. Like again, he starts the chorus on the 4 on the measure before, and then ends the chorus going into the 3 of the following measure. Like it doesn't end on 4 to land on 1. It ends on 3, and then the following verse takes over from the 3. Like it's thrown me off so many times listening to it, where I'm just like, where's the 1? Where's the 1 of this song? But man, I love this song. The bridge is absolutely beautiful. And girl, like You Rock My World is a banger of a track. Bassline again is the piano. The following 2 songs, Butterflies and Speechless, are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous performances by Michael on both of them. The vibe of them is just, it's current, it's beautiful, it's well produced. He sounds phenomenal. Like, I don't know what else to say. And like, even a song like Speechless, which could have fallen into the cringe, corny category, doesn't. Like it's so beautiful. Speechless, and da 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 da. When I'm with you, like he does that. We got multiple key changes into it. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Those 2 songs really shine a light again on his vocal prowess. This is how many years into his career, the final album of his career, where he's been delivering for all of these years, and he just sounds on top of his game with these 2 songs. And then when I tell you that 2000 watts absolutely like smacked me in the face by how awesome it was. Like, that beat is so sick. The whole beginning part was like, you can now put on your 3D glasses. We're going to be doing this. We're going to do this. And then the beat kicks in. Incredible. The beat to 2000 watts is just boom, down, 2,000 watts, boom, boom, 1,000 watts, 2. It's so dope. And then the fact that he's like in this lower register the entire time is incredible. Like, it's one of those songs that, like, if you played it for somebody, you'd be like, name this artist. It's not obviously him. There's no like he's, there's no woos, there's no nothing in this song that like would make you go like, oh, that's 1,000% Michael Jackson. It's really good. It's a really dope song. Again, that sounds current, as if it like came out in like 2026. I'm kind of going to fast track through the rest of this because, folks, I don't have anything bad to say about any of these songs. You Are My Life is an incredible song. Cry, obviously, is like a Man in the Mirror Earth song. When Michael goes, you can change the world, and then he responds, I can't do it by myself. You can touch the sky. He responds, it's gonna take somebody's help. And then it's amazing that it stays in that chord progression. And then we get some chord changes. If we all cry at the same time tonight. Like the fact that, again, from a songwriting standpoint, okay, we've kind of heard the same two chords over and over again in the song and Cry. And then when we get to the hook of the song, which is if we all cry at the same time tonight, you know, to get those chord changes in there where it's almost like it's not a different key. It's just they're playing chords in the key that are usually not part of the major scale of the key. Okay, they're playing like the harmonic or anything like that, right? So let's say we're in C. Okay, C da 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 da. C B flat, I can't da da C da 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 B flat da 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 C C C da da. If we all cry, so we will F C E flat B flat E G, right? Or G. Throwing that E flat in there makes it more unique, makes it different, makes it pop a little bit more, perks your ears up as a listener, being like, oh, something's different here, something that's not supposed to be happening is happening, but it works. And again, if we all cry, F, C, E flat, B flat. Absolutely beautiful song. Same with the Lost Children. Just the beat, the 3/4 waltz beat of the Lost Children is gorgeous. The kids talking at the end, saying we should go home now. Again, man, this guy knows how to pull on some heartstrings, right? Same kind of effect with Heal the World from Dangerous. Whatever happens was a pleasant surprise. Completely forgot that Carlos Santana is on this record. You hear like the whistling and the acoustic guitar, and didn't realize it was Santana until the electric guitar solo kicks in the middle, and it's like, oh, that's Santana's tone. He's got such a signature tone with his PRS, with his Paul Reed Smith guitar, and just like the distortion and the settings that he puts it on. But it's like, it's very obviously his tone. The one gripe I have is the end of the song where it's like, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Carlos. Like, it's cute. I like it, but it's like, let's make it super obvious that Carlos Santana is on this record, right? And I think this was at the height when Santana was doing, was it the Supernatural record, like that Rob Thomas and what's his name, Everlast, and a whole bunch of other people did duets with him basically, and so and that record took off, and so Michael capitalized on bringing Santana in, which I think it worked. I think it works for the song because Whatever Happens is a banger of a track. Like, you got that kind of like whatever happens, don't let go of my hand. Like, it's kind of got that hard beat, right? It's got that hard kind of urban beat to it. But then you've got like the Spanish flamenco nylon string acoustic guitar vibes going on top of it, which just really works. And then you got Michael Jackson's vocals, like, what, you can't go wrong. And then the album ends with Threatened, a banger of a closer, like the spiritual successor to Unbreakable. Unbreakable had bum da 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 bum da 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 bum, and this has like boom da da bum da 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 bum. You get the vibe, all right? You get the vibe of what I'm trying to say. You should be threatened. You should be threatened. Never did I think that an album of 16 original songs by Michael Jackson. Keep in mind, his streak was 15, 2 of which were covers, Smile and Come Together. Come Together had come out during the Bad era on the Moonwalker album or the Moonwalker movie. And so really 13 original tracks. Some misses there, but overall really like History. For Jackson to come out with an album with 16 original tracks and not have one of them be weak. Like, Granted, there are some songs that are better than others on this record. But the fact that it's like, here is this album of banger after banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, and you just continue for 16 tracks. Some are hard hitting, like 2000 Watts and Unbreakable and Heartbreaker and Threatened and Privacy. And then some of them are melancholy, like The Lost Children and You Are My Life and Speechless. And then some of them are like just loving and Heart on My Sleeve, You Rock My World, and Heaven Can Wait. I mean, like, what an amazing record to punctuate your legacy. And again, obviously didn't know that it was going to be his last record. But for any last record to go out on, Invincible is a hell of a record to go out on. Invincible to me is a record that definitely doesn't get talked about enough. Sony tried to dampen the commercial marketing of this record because Michael and Sony had a falling out. Michael didn't want to tour for this record, and Sony was like, cool, not gonna advertise this record. And so it undersold. And outside of You Rock My World, there wasn't really a song on here that I was like really familiar with. Granted, I bought the record a long time ago. Listened to it maybe once in full. I don't even know if I ever gave the whole record a shot. But listening to it now, 20 years after the fact, and listening to it with new ears and new appreciation, looking at it from this lens of a music producer, content creator, songwriter, etc., whatever you want to call it, I am blown away by how well this album is put together. Like, the track listing is perfect. I've had issues with Michael's track listing in the past, with Dangerous specifically, where it was 6 New Jack Swing songs in a row, and I'm just like, what are we doing? And even parts of History, I'm just like, yeah, this could have been here, this could have been here, this could have been here. There is not a single song that I would swap with any other song in Invincible. It is a perfect track listing from beginning to end. It is an album you press play on, and you leave it alone, okay? And you just dance your ass off for the next like 70 plus minutes. This album is incredible. His album is incredible. And so, folks, that brings us to the end of my coverage of Michael's solo records for now. I might go and revisit Blood on the Dance Floor and some of the posthumous stuff afterwards, but I wanted to focus on the full-length records to start the Song Minded podcast. And I have been thrilled, to say the least, by the amount of love that you all have shown me on social media for the clips and stuff that I've put out. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And so, as a treat, as promised, I'm going to tier list Michael's albums right now. All right. So the way I'm going to do it is like this, right? Tier list is going to be, whether it's S tier, which is flawless, perfect record, nothing's wrong with it front to back. A, maybe one track could go away. B, issues with maybe the track listing or some of the songs. And then, full disclosure, none of his albums are going to get below a C. So C just being like my least favorite of the bunch, okay? So Off the Wall. Off the Wall is a record that I think is really good. But even after listening to it, and there's a lot of songs in there that I think are quite fun, like You Got Me Working Day and Night is a banger of a track that I revisit in my brain all the time. Obviously, Rock With You and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough are excellent songs. And the final track of the record, Burning Down the Disco or something like that, some song title like that, I think is really fun. I think is really, really fun. Off the Wall for me gets a B. It's one of those albums that, like, while I think those tracks are fun, I'm not going to revisit it often. It's just the style of it. I think it's the disco style and stuff that I'm just like not a fan of. But I love the live instrumentation of that album. I think it goes a long, long way to preserving the legacy of those songs and keeping them current in today's age and moving forward. Thriller. Okay? Thriller has, like what I said, the best opening track of all time, in my opinion, of Michael's albums, with Wanna Be Starting Something. It has Billie Jean, it has Beat It, it has Human Nature, it has Thriller. It has PYT. But then it has like a couple of songs that just like to me are like okay. Baby Be Mine and The Girl Is Mine are fine. And The Lady in My Life, while beautiful, is a heck of a way to end the album on a really slow note. So, believe it or not, Thriller for me gets a B. It's an album that I think has some of the best songs he's ever written. Okay, like the most iconic songs. You could argue tracks 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the 4 most iconic songs in his discography. Track 4, Thriller. Track 5, Beat It. Track 6, Billie Dream. Track 7, Human Nature. All right, so why is it a B? Because Lady in My Life and Baby Be Mine and The Girl Is Mine is like okay, and it's an album of 9 songs. It's a little short. It's a little short. Bad. If Just Good Friends wasn't on this album, Bad is a perfect record. Because Bad, The Way You Make Me Feel, Speed Demon, Liberian Girl, Another Part of Me, Man in the Mirror, Just Can't Stop Loving You, Dirty Diana, Smooth Criminal, and Leave Me Alone are all excellent. They're all S tier songs. They're all S tier songs. And because 10 out of the 11 tracks are S tier, I'm just going to make the album S tier. Okay, Just Good Friends is a fun track. Like Stevie's on it. It's Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder. Okay? I don't hate the song. I just think it sticks out like a sore thumb on this record. Bad is S tier. Bad to me is Michael's songwriting crowning achievement, to be honest with you. Dangerous. Oh, I have such mixed feelings on this record. I think Jam, In the Closet, Remember the Time, Heal the World, Black or White, Who Is It, Will You Be There, Keep the Faith, Gone Too Soon, and Dangerous are excellent. I think they're excellent. Y'all are going to hate me for this. I think Given to Me is okay. I know a lot of people like Given to Me. I think it's okay. It just doesn't go as hard as I'd like it to go, and I think the chorus is very repetitive. And I don't like Why You Want to Trip on Me, She Drives Me Wild, and Can't Let Her Get Away. I think those are 3 songs that just like could have been trimmed from this record and no one would have noticed. And so to me, Dangerous is B tier, which hurts my soul because I remember like this is the Jackson that I like vividly remember the music videos and stuff for this one. But it hurts my soul a little bit to say that. History. What a random album History is. But History has Scream, They Don't Care About Us, Stranger in Moscow, Earth Song, Money, Tabloid Junkie, Too Bad, History, Little Susie, and Smile. The songs that I could do without really are Childhood, You Are Not Alone. I know that's the big hit off the record, but I'm not a big fan of that song. And This Time Around, although I love the rap in the middle of This Time Around. And I think History is A tier. I like it more than Dangerous. I definitely like it more than Dangerous. And I think songs like Tabloid Junkie and History, and obviously They Don't Care About Us, and Scream, and Stranger in Moscow, and of course Earth Song, just bring this to another level. I think from a production standpoint, Jackson got better with History than he did with Dangerous. From an audio mix standpoint as well, I like History quite a bit. And then Invincible. I can't believe I'm doing this, but Invincible is S tier. Invincible is one of the best, arguably the best albums he's ever made. There isn't a single weak song. Does it have the iconic bangers of Thriller and Bad and Dangerous and even History? Arguably no, because again, Sony didn't give it a chance. It has You Rock My World as far as like iconic tracks go, but bro, this is, when I talked about Bad being Michael's most consistent record, this is Michael's best produced record, best arranged record, best track listed record, best recorded record. Vocally, I would argue it's his best performance. There isn't a weak song on here. Not a single one. And so to me, Invincible is S tier. So to recap, Off the Wall, B tier. Thriller, B tier. Bad, S tier. Dangerous, B tier. History, A tier. Invincible, S tier. What an incredible journey it's been. Celebrating the king of pop, a man who captured so many people's attention and wrote some incredible songs that I think are going to stand the test of time. It has been my absolute pleasure talking about these records with you. I'm excited to talk about some other music in a future episode of the Song Minded podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening to me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow. And thank you so much for your time and your attention. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.